Adam, what do you do as an employer if an employee doesn't return property at the end of their employment?
I get this question a lot, Justin. And, I always look to see what the company has in place as far as addressing the delivery of certain company property at the outset. What is the company giving to the employee? Is it conducting an inventory of exactly what it is giving? Because believe it or not, in addition to the issue of not receiving property back, you may receive other property which was never given. So, I think you need to really, as an employer, you need to do your homework on the front end as far as conducting an inventory of all of the company property that you're giving to the employee. And then also making it clear through some written document, maybe multiple documents, that this property is required to be returned at the time of termination or upon request by the company in the existing state, free from any modification or alteration. I know that's some legalese, but the reason why you want that there is because you don't want an employee to just delete the hard drive before he or she turns it back over. You want to be able to see, is there anything on there that we need to do something about potentially? So addressing all of that on the front end and having the employee sign off that it is his or her legal obligation to return this company property. And then let's say the employee does not return the company property at the end or returns the wrong property. What can you do about it? I know that was the main question today. Well, a lot of employers say, can I hold the employee's pay? And my recommendation is no. Have the two be separate and apart. Okay. Pay the employee in full, pay the employee on time. Don't hold the employee's pay hostage while you're waiting for that employee to return the property, because then you could potentially be sued for something like wage theft or unpaid wages. And the court is not going to agree with you that you should have withheld their final paycheck while you're waiting the company property, because you don't know why there's some delay in receiving the property if the intention is to return the property. But what you can do is hopefully enforce a contract that you've had the employee sign, which says, I agree to return the company property, and maybe send a demand letter first. If the employee doesn't return it, obviously try and get in contact with the employee to recover it without having to go down the legal route. So assuming all that's done, if you have to, you can sue the employee, or you can call the police if the employee has engaged in theft of company property. But you want to make sure you do your homework on the front end, so you're setting the expectation that this is something that must be returned, that legally this is something that the company can enforce under a contract if there is no return, and that there are repercussions, so that hopefully it's really like an aberration for an employee not to return the property. The hope is that everyone does and that it's a non-issue. But I think the takeaway from this is that don't mess with the employee's pay if the employee has not returned his or her property just yet. Keep that separate and